Part 7. Education Resources, Program Management and CQI. Read with Area 5 in copper.
Okay, kita pergi ke part 7 very fast, very quickly. I think not much here. Okay, HEP must provide sufficient resources conducive to supporting teaching and learning. Okay, ada dua highlight di sini. Number one, okay, facility always an issue, especially allied health sebab mahal alat ya. Okay, so what the program can open if those time the program standard nak tengok semua ada. Okay, so to be more realistic, I think the council also agrees and JTC also agrees that untuk existing academic program yang telah ditawarkan, the SCP must have the necessary resources and facilities in place one semester prior to the commencement of the program. So sekarang ni semester pertama, okay, alat untuk semester kedua mesti dah ada. Okay, if we do pemantauan ataupun nanti kita buat penaziran, you must have those things. Untuk academic program yang belum ambil student, we call new academic program which are seeking provisional accreditation, nak dapat lesen L tu, you must have the necessary resources for all the modules offered in the first year of the study. Right. Kita align dengan COPA punya requirement lah, bukan COPA, ODL. Okay. For ODL program, it's the same requirement. That means if you are thinking of offering a new program, so in the first year you offer this kursus, alat untuk mengajar this kursus must be already there for us to do verification. Right. So basically it's already written there, so we provide you better explanation to assist university untuk to plan your program for new academic program basically. Alright. And any hidden tak tulis must meet health and safety standards, of course. Okay, have agreement for shared facility between industry agencies. You can have agreement for shared facilities. If you can't afford to buy satu X-ray machine, mana mampu. Okay, you have agreement dengan Sunway University ke, KKM ke, okay, atau agensi nuklear. So those are the things that you have to have, okay, for facilities. Nothing much here. Okay, untuk program leadership, this is very important because he or she is the pilot to fly the aeroplane, whether it flies or it drops. Okay, so it's very important and we prescribe you must have the academic qualification, at least one of the qualification must be in the discipline. Now you can have satu CJ, okay, a CJ, diploma, degree, bachelor, semua tu, but we talk about diploma, degree, master, PhD. One must be in the field. Kenapa kita tak one? Because some of the fields it is important for them to be practitioner. Okay, for example, I am the chairman ataupun program leader untuk nutrition, tapi my first degree forensic science, tak boleh lah. Right? So you have to think that what is the appropriate one of the qualification. So even let's say I have a diploma in teaching, bachelor in forensic science, master in nutrition. Boleh ke saya jadi ketua dalam nutrition program? Certainly not. Because if you don't have the experience in diploma or degree, how are you going to design a course for the students? Right? So we make it more open, but you have to defend lah kalau tak bisa comply. Okay? Kalau comply, the auditor will write and it's up to JTC to think. There are reasons, all sorts of reasons behind it. Yeah? You have relevant professional registration atau certification required by the field. If you have, if you do not have, seorang ni je ada. Okay, macam mana? Okay, auditor will bring the finding up to JTC to decide. And this is common also in ISO 17025. If you are running a lab 15189 or 17025, the signatory ada yang tak ada kelulusan, maka standard akan panggil satu jawatan kuasa khas untuk buat vetting secara personal, case by case. Dan orang tu telah buat fingerprint 20 tahun. Tapi zaman dulu dia buat ada degree pun in forensic science. So Jabatan Standard Malaysia kata okay, dia dah cukup, okay, sesuai jadi kepala because he's the only one in Selangor, right? Maka kita lulus. So we will use the same principle in lab accreditation if possible, and if we can look at that perspective in special case lah. Most of our cases will comply 1, 2, and 3, but they will be very special case in clinical psychology ke, kursus-kursus yang pelik-pelik ni lah. Alright, so we hope that this is sedikit explanation for you. Alright, and I think ni tak ada apa. Okay, we have to, we say compulsory appointment of qualified external assessor mesti ada. Okay, and qualified external advisor untuk curriculum review kena lah. Itu mestilah. Right, these are QA matters. Okay, you benchmark top universities national or internationally lah. And at the end of the day, when you talk about CQI, these are the important highlights. Okay, how do you say your program is good? Okay, besides a curriculum bagus, you have a very strong faculty members, your VC is orang dalam bidang ni, external examiner. Lepas tu you benchmark universiti hebat di Australia contohnya, in audiology. So this will actually enhance the confidence, public confidence on your quality assurance. Because section 7 is talking about monitoring, review, and CQI. Okay, so always benchmark those things. I think we highlighted those in the standard.